Thanks, Melody. The next speaker is Louise Rivieccio from Manchester. She's the manager of Equinox on the Battenkill. I don't know, Equinox on the Battenkill is a homeowners association. I don't know too much more about Louise, but she's going to talk about the need for us to be vigilant in our responsible decision making when the wind industry comes knocking on the doors of our towns. Louise?
Thanks, Steve, and thank you all for the opportunity to talk with you here today. Like Steve said, he doesn't know a whole lot about me, but like many residents of Vermont, I chose to make Vermont my home because of this state's extraordinary beauty and the special quality of life that few other states have to offer. It is this special environment, however, that happens to be the very lifeblood of Vermont's economy. The lure of tourists, vacationers, weekend recreation seekers, and folks today still willing to invest in our state as second homeowners. It appears strange, therefore, that here we are now in a situation in which our communities actually have to fight to preserve their environments and quality of lives. Fight against forces coming in from outside of our state in the name of saving the planet. We're talking, of course, of the big wind. While industrial wind power plants certainly have a place in the mix of renewable energy sources, we here in Vermont have to be careful in this application, especially here in the state and in our communities, where our economy is already in such a fragile condition that we can scarcely afford the risks of these further erosions. But what are the recourses when industrial giants, finding Vermont's small, financially strapped communities easy prey for their ventures? They're empowered with federal blessings and government money, which is our money, and are free to engage in unrestrained development of big wind. Often these forces, and we've experienced it, we've gone through it here, we've gone through it in Manchester as well. They come in with seemingly wonderful plans and promises of jobs, cheaper energy costs, and claims that their industrial power plants are the answer to saving the earth from destruction, and claims that they are so benign and even good for you, when in fact they do not actually contribute to base load energy, and, ironically, may actually increase the use of other fuel sources. In their perspectives, there's little or no mention of any negative environmental impacts, no mention of property value erosion, no mention of disturbances to human welfare, no mention of any other possible destruction to wildlife, and no mention of restrictions to recreation. So, how are communities and community leaders to make informed strategic decisions when presented with such proposals, and faced as well with a need to respond to the issue of energy? One is caught in a conundrum. We all want and we need to be good stewards of the earth. We in Vermont are especially keen about that. We also in Vermont need to ensure that our communities and environment are preserved. We have in the meantime a lot of data and information about industrial wind turbine projects throughout the United States and throughout Europe. We find, actually, indeed, energy costs are not really cheaper. The jobs are so specialized that locals are not utilized, that there are very real environmental impacts, and there is accumulating information on community, social, and health impacts due to noise and other aspects. That is why Energize Vermont has been organized. Energize Vermont is formed to ensure that there is a balanced and full flow of information available to communities, to community leaders, to legislators, to regulators, and secondly, for this to happen, we want to first establish what kinds of renewable energy forms are suitable for Vermont. Establish those parameters necessary to protect Vermont's environment and its citizens. And then also to help implement the energy forms that are most practical for Vermont. Here, community-focused efforts seem to make the most sense. In this respect, Vermont has the greatest potential to reduce its fossil fuel consumption in such measures as insulating all of its old homes. We have plenty of them. Replacing all those drafty windows with energy-efficient ones. Replacing George Washington's furnaces, the oil-burning kind, with energy-efficient ones. Or better yet, geothermal systems. Installation of solar panels. Or use of residential turbines for electricity. All of these things will not only make a real contribution towards saving the planet, but also will keep the money right here in Vermont and in our communities by creating jobs within our communities. So the goal of Energize Vermont is to support our communities in these efforts.